we're doing the savory oats thing, and I've got the water boiling. I'm going to put the oats in there right away so we can get those cooking because we have a lot of things to taste. And if we're going to taste and talk, I want to make sure it gets done. So these have to go for about 10 minutes to cook. That's why I wanted to make sure I was ready to go. And I have another batch that I'm going to cook as well. For now, I'll just put that in there. I got my water running so I can drop my bowls in there, because if you know anything about oatmeal, oatmeal sticks. So savory oats today. Not the sweet ones that we're used to eating in the morning. I've discovered savory oats. It's been a very interesting experiment. I have found one that I really like for breakfasts, for me, because I like a savory breakfast. And so I have and that would have, let's see, I have chicken sausage in there. I put a little edamame or some other veggie in there. I add something I'm not going to do today, but I do add it to a lot of things that I eat. I add it to yogurt. I add it to oatmeal. Let's see, I've been known to throw it in a salad, but I try to add seeds and nuts into my diet. And I have cashews often for a snack. I try to eat more walnuts. Not a huge fan, but I always thought walnuts tasted terrible. I always thought they were very bitter. I'm not a fan of bitter. And that's what I've learned more and more, is that a lot of things. Hey, Christy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I probably shouldn't tell people that I hacked at it myself. So I just got tired of it. I also, this is a really strange thing. I had started wearing a bonnet because people said it protected your curls, and I think it actually was causing some of my problems. So I have ditched the bonnet for a while to see what happens, and it actually feels like this is almost filling in. So if that was the easy fix for that, I'm all for it. So I used to do it all the time. I cut my son's hair. I cut my husband's hair. I'm just not real confident in the back. So sometimes if I'll make my husband help me out if I'm struggling particularly. So we're just going to keep an eye on these oats. Like I said, I had the water boiling when we got here. And I have a go-to that, like I said, I put a soft-boiled egg. It's about a 6-minute egg for me. So it's more jammy than runny. I can't deal with a white that's runny at all. So my dad used to make the best, what are now called over medium eggs, where all the white was cooked, but you still had, plenty of yolk to play with. So that's how I like my eggs. And if I'm boiling them for things like this, that's how I like them too. I'm qualifying that because I'll be making some deviled eggs next week. And we do not want any kind of jammy egg when we're doing deviled eggs. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit because it's boiling like mad. So I'm excited. I've got 7 different kinds of oats to try. Most of them are going to be from this batch of oats right here, but I'm also going to make another batch that has the oats actually cook in chicken stock. So I've never tried that before. So we are going to try that today as well, because today is experiment day and I'm loving it. So, all right. I've gone about 5 minutes with these oats, but nice catch. So here's some of the, I don't normally stir it that much, but this thing got so hot so fast. So our first one, we're going to start with some cream cheese. And I will tell you, the recipe I saw did call for adding like salmon or lox. And I've talked about this before. Not a huge salmon fan. So, but to that, once I get the oats in there, I'm going to add some everything bagel seasoning. So we've got that one. Then I've got another one that has cottage cheese, edamame, and then we're going to add some nutritional yeast. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then I've got one that's got mozzarella, or no, that's ricotta, Parmesan, and edamame. So, shouldn't do that. Then I found another one. The recipe actually called for a marinara. I did not want to open a whole jar of marinara sauce because I don't have any plans to use it before Saturday. So I just added some sun-dried tomatoes with ricotta cheese and mozzarella cheese. Then this one I'm really curious about because this was someone said this was their favorite. I was on Reddit, I think, when I found this one. And it's miso and butter and smoked paprika and chicken. So that one's going to be interesting, I think. And then this one is tomato, feta, and chicken. And if I thought about it, I probably would have added olives because I like them. So it's not too late to do that. I might grab a bag of olives, but I don't know. And then the one I've got, it's a riff on something called San Francisco oats. It's not exactly how they say to make it because, for one thing, theirs is vegan. Mine is not. So mine isn't even vegetarian. So apologies to the San Francisco oats recipe people. But it was kind of an interesting set of flavors, and I was kind of intrigued by it. So we've got about another 2 minutes to go here, and then we're going to start our second batch of oats so that has time to cook, because it has to cook a little bit longer because it also has red lentils in it. So that's a lot of fiber, some really good protein will go into that. So yeah, pretty awesome, to be honest. Now, I like my, hi Sharon, I like my oatmeal a little on the texture side. I don't like it to be really smooth. So we're going to make sure that it stays that way. And this is pretty much ready. Like I said, it'll have a lot of good texture to it, which is how I prefer it. We're going to set that aside, and we're going to start the next batch. And this will, like I said, it'll take a little bit longer because the lentils need to cook for about 15 minutes. So we've got our stock in there. I was about 1.25 cups, I think, of stock. We may have to add a little more. I have a 1/2 cup of oats, and I have a 1/2 cup of red lentils that have been washed, which is why they came out in a lump. They've been washed and been sitting in the strainer. And then I wasn't supposed to do it that way. I just realized something. Oh well. Here we go. So thank you, Christy. You always remind people. I'm so grateful for you. All right. It's a little bit of turmeric. In case you don't know, turmeric is great for reducing inflammation. A little bit of onion powder. So hey, Ruby, welcome in. We're working on our savory oats here. I've got some oatmeal made. We're going to start taste testing here in a minute. But I'm putting another recipe. Like I said, it's a riff on San Francisco oats, and I was supposed to get this boiling before I put everything else in. But so well. Oh well, so be it. I think that's everything to get it started. And then I'll need a spoon for that. So this will go a little differently. We'll see how it goes. All right, so. Oh, sorry to hear that your son is sick. That is never fun. Even when they're adults, you hate when they're sick. You just, as a mom, you just hate it. So I'm going to go get a spoon rest so this thing doesn't flip up on me. The other one fit nicely in here, but today we'll do that. Okay, so first little taste test. We are going to go with, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and put everything in here so that this doesn't cool down too much. I don't want to. That way I can stir everything up really quickly. Got a little left over. This is a lot of fiber, y'all. This is why I didn't. This is why I did not add. I usually add flax seeds or chia seeds or something like that to my oatmeal, but I realized I am going to be eating so much fiber. I didn't want to add too much, so okay. I'm going to leave that one in there. I don't want to start with that one. So, like I said, this particular one, I'm going to use a little bit of everything bagel seasoning. And then I've got some cream cheese. And this one suggested that you add like lox or some kind of salmon to it. So I'm going to stir that up because that cream cheese is melted now. And anybody else like, I love everything bagels, but I like the ones, some places, sorry, I didn't mean to yell. Some bakeries have figured out how to keep the stuff, the everything, on the bagel. Others have not. And yes, they're going to make a little bit of a mess, but some make more of a mess, and I don't know why that is. So anyway, so that's our first one we're going to try. Wow, that's rich. So I don't know what to call you. Is it collator? I don't know. I'm sorry. Tell me what to call you. But hello and welcome in. We're making some savory oats and we're taste testing them. Oh, I can smell this. It smells delicious. But give that a stir. We'll keep an eye on it. So this is the first one. I really like this one. But it does need another something. Pumpkin seeds is always a good one. But something with a little, I mean, it's got good texture, but I would want a little more texture. So this one, I'm going to add a little bit of nutritional yeast. It calls for some of that. This is a gluten-free product. I know yeast kind of freaks people out when it says yeast, but if you've never had nutritional yeast, I'm just going to get out a bunch of spoons. My nose is itching. Sorry. If you've never had nutritional yeast, for 2 tablespoons, which obviously I didn't put that much in there, so it has 5 grams of protein. It has 500+% of your vitamin B, B1, 400+% of riboflavin, which is B2, 220% of your niacin, which is B3, 420% of your B6, and 90% of your folate, and 630% of your B12. So if you're lacking in B vitamins, this is it. However, I will tell you from experience, if you take too many B vitamins, oh, it's see you later, Gator. Got it. All right. Thank you. My son. I love that boy. He's not a boy. Love that young man. Let's put it that way. Okay. So anyway, nutritional yeast is filled with vitamin B. However, if you're a woman of a certain age, like me, if you are postmenopausal, like me, we sometimes need those B vitamins. If you go too far, it can cause problems with your muscles relax a lot. I'm just going to leave it at that. Y'all can figure out what I'm talking about. I always put less than it calls for, Christy, so I never really have to deal with it tasting yeasty. So I don't feel bad about that. What most people say is it adds a cheesy flavor, especially people who are vegan who used to eat cheese. It gives them that cheesy flavor that they're used to. Now I've got cottage cheese in here too, so I'll be honest, this one's okay, but I don't think I'd make it again. Not my favorite. I would very much pick this over that. So I'm kind of keep track of that. So little X and a check. I'm going to give that. This next one is edamame, parmesan, and ricotta. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Do the clear the palate thing. Well, you're welcome to join in the conversation. Because we all do. We all talk about stuff, and we help each other out. We share tips, all kinds of stuff. So I love ricotta. I love parmesan. The edamame, it just doesn't have a lot. I mean, it adds a lot of protein, and it's really good for you. So, especially again, if you're a postmenopausal woman who doesn't have a high risk for um, estrogen factors. Okay, that one, that's good. What it needs is a little, like, I was going to say it needs a little salt and pepper, but I'm going to add a little of the everything bagel. And I think that's the thing. Yeah, that little extra salt really lifted it. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to leave it on the burner because it still has a little bit to go. Oh, that smells good. All right. I'm going to kind of move it off the heat. Okay. Again, need a little seasoning. This one is the sun-dried tomatoes. I can remember what the tomatoes were called. Sun-dried tomatoes, a little ricotta, and this one's got mozzarella in it. So this will have that little extra. And the tomatoes were in oil. They weren't the dry sun-dried tomatoes. Oh, that's nice. The original recipe called for marinara. I just didn't want to open the jar, so. Mm, you could really give this kind of a pizza feel if you added some like Italian seasoning to it. Um, a good drizzle of a nice olive oil would be nice on that. I know some people don't do that. I do it occasionally. I do it now that I have a really good olive oil. That's the difference because sometimes it tastes terrible. Um, so that one's, I would do that one again. Okay, this is the one I'm really curious about because it's miso and butter and chicken and some smoked paprika. And I want to make sure I mix this up because I don't want to get like a big old bite of smoked paprika. So that was a spice. My mother never used that growing up. And my mom, I realize now, had a rather limited spice repertoire because she didn't like a lot of things. So things like we didn't have rosemary or thyme or a lot of those things. So um, Typical suburban American, I suppose. But okay, here goes. Mm. Well, I'm not a sir, but I'm doing well. Oh my gosh, that's good. We're making savory oats. Okay. Remember how I said that other one needed some salt to go with it? Miso is salty. It's, oh wow. This is so good. Um, Hi Shirley, welcome in. Um, that is so good. That, and it's just, it was a little bit of miso. You don't need a lot of it. But miso is one of those lovely fermented foods we should be eating more of. I'm really glad I found this one. This is really good. Um, I don't know if it I don't know if it needs to smoke paprika. If that enhances it. But wow. So far this one's my favorite. That one beats out the one with the cream cheese. So um hello, hello, welcome in. Um ooh, that would be good, Christy. Caramelized onions would be yummy. Um Gonna try this one. This is the feta. And again, like I said, I probably would have added olives, and I'm guessing this would need, although it's got the feta in here, so that should give it that nice little hit of salt. Um, but it's tomatoes and feta, and it's got some chicken in there as well. So okay, I think that would benefit from, again, a little more seasoning, maybe a Greek seasoning in there or some Italian seasoning, um, like a little bit of basil. I love basil. It's one of my favorite herbs. That might also, I love tomatoes with just the tiniest little bit of vinegar and like a vinaigrette on it. I just wonder, I have a pomegranate vinegar right here. I just got this. And it's a place that has olive oils and vinegars, and everything I've ever gotten from there is so good. As a matter of fact, I use their balsamic, and I use their raspberry vinegar to make chocolate truffles, which we will do at some point. I will add that. I'm just going to put the tiniest little bit in here to see if that lifts it the way I think it should. So, don't want to overdo it, but it's probably a pretty mild vinegar anyway. So, well, that's nice. But yeah, I think the caramelized onions, you could do like some caramelized onions and maybe like a lean beef, like some of the leftover flank steak that we had yesterday. That would be good. Um, Honestly, this is what I love about the savory oats. It's a great way to use up some of your leftovers. It's really good with a soft boiled egg when you add that. I just didn't want to eat a bunch of eggs too at dinner. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna need to get another bowl for this, but that one was good. If you add a little bit of, I would add like olives or The vinegar's nice, but I think the olives would be better. Um, and then we're going to talk about this one. Oh, I'm going to grab a bowl and I'm going to grab this. I was going to add chicken to this one. So I've got some pre-made chicken today just to make life easier, because sometimes you have to make life easier, right? So I'm going to toss that in there. I did want to share that I I do make sure my oats are gluten free, because oats are one of those grains that, even though they don't have gluten in them, there's a ton of cross contamination. So you got to be really careful if you're someone who's gluten free. I get these at Costco. They're sprouted. I don't know if that helps or whatever, but they are labeled gluten free, and I very much trust Costco with their gluten free stuff. So that's one thing. Before that, I would get them from Quaker Oats that are gluten free, but um, I just decided to give those a try, and I really, really like them. I actually like them better than the Quaker Oats. Um, and one of the things that, while I was researching this, you guys, I go down so many rabbit holes when I start researching recipes. I've learned so many things. But what I found was kind of a list, and I'm going to create a blog post for this, um, that talks about, if you're going to eat. Hi, Rose. Welcome in. We are making and tasting savory oats today. Um, but what it says is the thing. Yeah, that one does very well. Uh, for savory oats, what they suggest that you add is you add a protein, that you add something with umami in it, that like unctuous flavor, like olives, miso, soy sauce, hoisin sauce, gluten free, of course. They said Marmite. I don't know if Marmite is gluten free, but or sun dried tomatoes, which that was a good ad for that one. They suggest something fresh, which I did not add, and I think it would be really good in a couple of these. Would be like scallions or chives. I did talk about adding herbs. If the asparagus hadn't gone south on me, I might have had a little bit of extra of that. I actually was going to add that to the Parmesan and or the mozzarella and ricotta. I think that would have been delicious. But since it went belly up, I didn't make it out of the house last night. They suggest maybe a pesto, lemon, lime, or orange, which we all know citrus lifts everything. Um, then they say add a crunch factor, which is like crispy shallots, crispy garlic, some kind of toasted seed, like I showed the pumpkin. Uh, they say pepitas in addition to that, which makes this weird because pepitas are just pumpkin seeds, or nuts of some kind. And then whatever spices you want. And, so, and then you can just mix it up however you want. So, that being said, I am going to try this. For those who weren't here at the beginning, this was cooked in broth. It's cooked with red lentils. So there are red lentils in here. There's oats in here. It was cooked in chicken broth. It has turmeric in it, if you couldn't tell by the color. It has turmeric in it, and then some garlic powder, some onion powder, and that's it. So, and the stock was chicken. I don't know if I said that or not. So we're going to stir this up. Somehow I feel like this would benefit from like, and again, the recipe that I adapted from said to add like spinach. I do not like wilted spinach that's warm. So it's just not a thing for me. I'll put it in a salad. Don't really like it cooked. If I'm going to have greens, they're generally going to be like turnip greens or collard greens that I can cook for a long time. Oh, wow. That's so good. I might even say instead of the turmeric, I might use a curry powder, which has turmeric in it, but it's like got that slight Indian flavor, but it hasn't got that region of the world. Um, it has that kind of flavor to it, but not as much as like a curry would. Who knew? Curried oats, right? Wow, that's amazing. That's really, really good. But I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna steal some of the tomatoes out of here, see if that helps. Because I think that would bring that freshness, that brightness to it. The other thing you could do if you wanted to make it vegetarian, I think this would be really good with some fried potatoes. Hmm. Didn't add as much as I would hope, but still good. I like that a lot. And you know what? As just kind of switch it up. Because honestly, I didn't have to go out and buy any of these ingredients. It was just stuff I had around that that's why I chose the ones I chose because I didn't have to buy anything special for it. And I think that's the blessing of this. It's that you can just take whatever. Yes, I love broccoli rabe. It is one of the few bitter greens or bitter veggies that I actually do like. And probably because it's got enough of a broccoli taste to it. So, all right. If I was picking the smoked paprika one with the butter, the miso, and the chicken, that's my favorite. That is so good. I think this one, mm, now that I go back, this is my number two. See if I can rank these. All right, so that's my favorite. That's my second. But again, I'm gonna play with these probably and make some more and taste test them and see how I can make just really simple additions to this to make them better. This one's coming in third, but I think it needs a little more of a protein, if you will. And I have to think about that because again, I don't like salmon. So hey, Joe, and welcome in. We are ranking the ones I made today. Starting with one with miso and butter and chicken in it. That was great. And then I did one where I cooked it in some stock and added some turmeric, some onion and garlic powder, and some chicken. That one was pretty good, but I think I'd use curry powder next time instead of just turmeric. One where I've got some cream cheese and everything bagel seasoning. And for those of you who are wondering, I have regulars, and when my regulars come in, I you know either that or just I think flavors, Christy, that just kind of go together. Just kind of enhance it. This one was the one with cottage cheese and edamame. It definitely needs a spice to it. And the same thing with the ricotta and parmesan. That one needs pepper. I think pepper is all that one needs. Because I think that's my next favorite. And then, which one is this? That's the one with the mutts. The, as it goes all over the floor. Put that over here. And I'll get it in a minute. Actually, it didn't go on the floor, it went on me. So, then we've got the one with the sun-dried tomatoes. And then the mozzarella and ricotta. I think it would be better with the marinara. Let's see if I like this one better than the... Is it 1,000 degrees where you are today, Joan? Joan's in the south. So I think that's what we've got. I've got the feta one, then the one with the sun-dried tomatoes, and then the one with the cottage cheese and nutritional yeast. That one just, it needs something. So I will align these all up later. But I really thought this was going to take a lot longer than it took. Oh, but one thing, if you're going to add like flaxseed and chia seeds, flax seeds in particular benefit from being crushed before you eat them to get the maximum benefit. This is a spice and nut grinder. One of the best little things I ever invested in. So like if you want to chop up nuts for something and you don't want to, it just does such a good job. I've actually made tea. It's too hot to do anything else but take a nap, right, Joan? Anyway, but I do my flaxseed in here. I would suggest, like, I also add hemp hearts to some things. It's a nice protein source to add a little protein. Do not put that in here; it will gunk it up. You don't even need to ask me how I know. I do it with chia seeds too because I don't like biting on chia seeds, and if you pulverize them, it tastes different. So it does give a little like nuttiness to it. But here's my other thing. If you're going to start adding that kind of fiber to your diet, a serving of chia seeds is like 2 tablespoons. A serving of flax seeds is about 1/4 of a cup. Don't do it. I'm telling you, do not do it. I have eaten those things for a long time, for months now. I still eat a 1/2 teaspoon, no more. Again, your digestive system will thank you for going slowly. And I eat a lot of fiber as it is. So anyway, I'm getting the look from IT guy. I think he's bored out of his gourd, but which he just gave me the yes, he is. But anyway, so that's all I've got really for today. Is that we've tasted everything, we've tested everything. I'm going to come back with some of these. I think I will probably do maybe some shorts, and maybe I'll put a blog post together, and I'll let you know when I do that. Um, but let's see, tomorrow is my 33rd wedding anniversary. So I am not cooking tomorrow. We're going out. Looking forward to it. And then Friday, we are doing seared ahi tuna. I need to go out. Keep your fingers crossed that I can find shishito peppers because I've never made them. So I'm excited to do that. And I forget what else we were having. Oh, I think we're doing a cucumber salad with an Asian dressing. So anyway, I'm excited. Zoha, I feel for you. It's a weird thing, but you know what? We can eat really good food, and that's the reason I'm here because I honestly believe we can all eat really, really good food, and we may eat differently than other people, but it doesn't mean we have to be deprived. So that's why I'm here. That's why I share these kind of recipes just to kind of give everybody an idea. If you've got something that you want to try, I would love, that you're afraid to try it yourself, or you're afraid to make it or whatever. Let me know and I will do what I can. So that's all I've got for today. I've had the best time with you guys. You know that. I love you guys. Thank you so much for the happy anniversary wishes. Um, he is my favorite human being on the planet. And I've had people go, "What about your children?" My children will grow up, and two of them have already left the nest. One lives 100 miles away, and one lives 3,000 miles away. So I better really like the human being that's going to be left behind when everybody else flies the coop. So yes, that is my favorite human on the planet. I want my sons to all marry their favorite human on the planet, and so far, two of them have. So we're 2 for 3. That third one will figure it out eventually. He'll find somebody eventually. So anyway, I wish you guys a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Remember, as we always say, eat well, be well, and I love you guys. I'll see you on Friday.